Ladies and gentlemen, the Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee from the Washington Commanders, NFL OG. He obviously played for the Seahawks for a long time. He was on the Rams for a year, back to the Seahawks, and then now he is on the defensive side of a Washington Commanders team who is starting a new chapter in a very successful fashion. Ladies and gentlemen, legend Bobby Wagner.
What up?
Bobby, sorry we had to finish another conversation before the conversation with you. There's a lot going on in the world, the internet.
Yeah. I was listening a little bit. I kind of got lost with the Luigi shout out.
No, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just you focus on ball and making the world better. We appreciate the hell out of you. We'll live on the internet and follow everything that's taking place. Bobby, let's talk about this. You go over to Washington. There's immediate success this year. And obviously, Jayden's talked about, Quinn's talked about. Is he the reason, Dan Quinn, the reason you're there? Obviously, because your history in Seattle. And whenever that video is released from the Washington Commanders social media team, where everybody's talking about you, the human, as opposed to the player, and what Coach Quinn had to say about you, does that make you emotional? And is there any times where you kind of sit back and think, wow, I've done good in this world?
Man, when I saw that video, it's actually they showed the video in the team meeting room, and so that's kind of how watching that video is how I found out I was nominated. And so when I was watching, we entered the defensive meeting and was like, "Oh, we about to watch a video about leadership." And I'm like, "All right." So then I'm watching the video, and then like 30 seconds to a minute in, like they were just talking about me, and I was like, "All right, we got to move on to the next person." Like there's other people. And then as you keep going, I'm like, okay, like I'm up for something. And then, they said it at the end because I was like, man, everybody was saying some really cool things, really nice things. And I just think I'm blessed to be in this position and to be nominated for this award again. But just like our team is a really dope team. Like we have really dope people in our building. And so it's been cool to be around this energy.
Whenever you sign there, Dan Quinn, his message to you in that video, I would recommend everybody to listen to. It's very cool to hear a coach talk about his player this way. The relationship is obviously much deeper than just on the football field. But whenever he gets his head coaching opportunity, and obviously he was at the Falcons, had success, not the most amount of success. He ends up going back to being a defense coordinator with the Cowboys. I think he had a couple options, stayed in Dallas. When he goes to Washington, do you automatically assume you're going to go with him? And did you know he was going to have success as quickly as he did?
We tried to make it work a couple times in Dallas, and he tried to get me, but it just didn't work out. And then when he got the Commanders job, he was one of the first people that called me and was like, what you think? And I'm like, I'm good. And, we just had to figure out the numbers and stuff like that. So, it's definitely like once I saw that, and then they brought in Coach Norton, who I've been around for a very, very long time. The steps that was being made just made more sense. And, I think from a culture standpoint, that's really what I felt the organization was missing. Somebody that's out front and center, creating a really cool culture that not only the players and people within the building believe, but people outside the building believe as well. And so, I know we had the guys, a good mixture between older guys and younger guys that can really expedite this process. But, I think it's between the coaches, the players, everybody just bought in real quick, and it doesn't surprise me.
It's been fun to watch. A couple Hail Marys, and both to the Lord and on the football field, obviously, have taken place as well. Is this a team of destiny? Who knows? Speaking of destiny, long time in the league. D-Bud has a question for you, Bob.
You've had an incredibly long and productive career. I think 13 seasons now, over 100 tackles, tied with Ray Lewis. Only the Iron Man, I think, is ahead right now. What's kind of been the key to that longevity? Being out there, being available. What's your off seasons like? How do you take care of your body, and how has that changed throughout your long career?
Man, I think it's just staying active. I think, I forgot who told me this advice, but as you get older, you have to just stay active. And so whenever I get done with the season, whenever it ends, I might take like a week off. But after that, I start like playing basketball, or I try to get in the pool. I just always stay active. And I think that's just allowed me to stay in the best shape. I do yoga a lot, which I feel like a lot of guys should get into. And it's just like you try to do the same things in the off season, or same things during the season that you would do in the off season. So whatever I'm doing right now during the season, I try to, like, even though we're not playing games, I'm trying to still do that same routine. So my body's just constantly used to being pushed in that facet. So I think that's probably played the biggest part.
Congrats, man. Iron Man, London Fletcher, is that
Yes,
who
sir.
we're
Yes,
talking
sir.
about? Obviously, Washington, great. Have you chatted with him at all? Do you guys know each other?
Yeah. We've, I think actually it kind of came out like last week. Like I like randomly just reached out to him just to get advice, and he was really, really gracious with his time. And we kind of stayed in contact. And I think the first time I actually met him in person was last year when we played the Commanders. And then when I tied that or had the 13th straight 100 tackles, I'm looking at him across the room doing an interview, and I'm just like, dang, like he was one of the people that helped me, like him, Ray Lewis, Mike Singletary, all those guys were gracious with their time, and so I feel like it's like whenever somebody reaches out to me, I try to do the same thing.
That's awesome. You done good, Bobby.
Hell yeah.
You done good. You still repping yourself?
Of course. Of course. There's no going back. There's no going back. I'm committed.
Yeah, whenever I heard you say earlier, he was trying to get me to Dallas, it just didn't work out or whatever. It's like Bobby's good negotiator. Come on. You and Jerry having to have conversations, or Steven having to have conversations to figure it all out. Awesome stuff. I have nothing but respect for that, obviously. AJ has a question for you.
Bobby, obviously your offense is playing well, and Jayden Daniels, a young quarterback. I guess how quickly did you know that, okay, we got our guy, like this dude is going to be a dude?
Honestly, in OTAs, he was coming in so early to put in work and learn the playbook. And then it probably was that our first practice in training camp where, we lined up against each other and he started talking trash. And I was just like, okay, like he feel confident in the playbook. But, when you watch him put in the work, and so he earned the right to be confident. And, once we saw him in the preseason and just saw how he moved and the decision he was making, and he does it with humility, which I respect a lot. So we knew pretty early on.
Do you chirp? No. You're a quiet guy or you chirp?
I'm a silent assassin.
I like that. Jayden try to talk shit to you?
Of course. And he's not a match. I was in the same locker room with Richard Sherman, and Richard wasn't beating me. So
So do you respond or you don't say anything?
no, I say stuff. It's just, it's between me and him. I don't gotta say it loud like everybody else.
Oh,
But
okay. So we're whispering. We're letting.
You beat the back and you can't touch the quarterback during practice. So you beat the back and you go and let him know, like, hey, you're gonna be sacked, right? That's not a pass. And you just little constant chirping. Once you open the door, there's no stopping.
Yeah, and then casually jog by, right? We're not stopping for an interaction. That was a sack. You know that, right? And then we're
100%. Really quick. Just really quick.
Drive by.
Drive by.
Yeah. And Jayden's thinking about that too. The next play.
100%.
Yeah,
You think about it the next play too.
Yeah, getting a play call in from Cliff again, please, one more time. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Or it's like he's trying to check the play at the line of scrimmage, and I'm like, oh, I don't think that's the right check, and make you second guess, whether or not that's the right check or not.
It is because now he has to not only confirm with you, but the rest of the team as well. Because now every offensive lineman too is like, yeah, is this the right? So you're just dancing with him the whole time. I respect that.
The whole time.
That could be why Jayden is unflappable.
Yeah.
Could help add to it. It seems like he's got all the characteristics to be a great. Can't wait to watch him continue to go. Speaking of a great, switching teams, Tone has a question for you.
Yeah, Bobby, earlier this year when you guys played the Steelers, I saw you got to catch up with Russ a little bit, and obviously he is playing incredible this year. Are you surprised by that at all? And we saw in Hard Knocks last year that the team seems to love him in the Steelers locker room. How was it catching up with Russ, and are you surprised by his success at all?
No, I'm not surprised by his success because I feel like he's one of those guys that loves to prove people wrong. And I think, there was a period in time when you had a lot of people that was doubting him and a lot of people was kind of like writing him off. And so, any stuff like that, I feel like makes him, even more hungrier. But, it was really cool to be out there playing against him. It's our second time. So now we 1-1. And it was just fun to be out there, fun to hear him make the checks and things like that. But it's fun to see him having fun. Like, I don't know if he was having fun in Denver. And I don't know if the team embraced him like they should have. So you can see, I didn't watch Hard Knocks, but I watched some of the clips. And you can see the connection that he has with the Coach Tomlin and the players. And that means something as a player to have that type of connection with the people around you, and they believe in you. That brings the best out of you.
You should watch that Hard Knocks. I know you got to watch film and everything. I know you got to do it tonight, right? Tonight?
Yeah,
episode 2.
Tonight, 9:00. I know you got film and everything, and you've been in a few buildings now, so you understand. But as somebody who was only in the Colts building, couple different regimes, obviously, so run differently, getting a chance to see Tomlin's building. As somebody who's obviously been a fan of Tomlin, Tomlin's been around a long time. I'm from Pittsburgh. Getting a chance to watch the way he operates, getting a chance to watch the way Harbaugh runs his team, Zach Taylor, and then also Stefanski. I'll ask you, what have you learned that buildings are vastly different or more the same?
No, they're different. They're definitely different.
I think so. And Hard Knocks really showcases it. But I want to get your take on where you've been. There is differences, right?
Yeah, there's definitely differences. The way that Pete operates versus the way that Coach McVay operates, the way Coach Quinn operates. Everybody is different. But I would say you can tell a winning culture, though, even though it might be different. The foundation of bringing everybody together, everybody being selfless, everybody doing what you need to do, like being a true professional. All those things are the same. It's just the style in which they get to that end point may be different.
Yeah. How's Quinn? It seems like he is he drops fuck a lot, I think, right? Isn't that
Yeah, definitely. He definitely does that. And I think he got he likes to bring in like the Marine style and the boxing, and Coach Carroll was more like basketball and things like that. So everybody has their thing that they bring, but Coach is fun. I mean, I think he definitely wants to connect with the players. He listens to the players, and as a player, you always love a coach that listens to you. That you have all these analytics and all these new things, but they still value your opinion and value how you see things too.
Yeah, I love that. Smart coaches collab with their best football minds, even if it's on their team that they're coaching. Every video they put out of him speaking to you guys after the game, and they have to mute out all the fucks. I'm like, all right, I like this guy. I like the way he operates, because that's like not filtering himself. Now, there's some people that just don't swear, but like Dan Quinn, the way he talks after those games, I've learned a lot about him. I don't think I fully knew who he was. That's why I love these inside looks like on Hard Knocks. It's like, oh, I like this guy's juice. I like the way he operates. You can see why he has had success and why he got another head coaching gig. Go ahead, AJ.
Bobby, was Pete Carroll the way that we see him as fans watching him? Was he always that juiced, have that much energy at all times whenever you saw him throughout the day? And do you think he eventually gets back into coaching?
100%. He was like that from the day I met him. There might have been a span too where I think there was like a movie or a documentary or something where it was like a vegan diet, not vegan diet, but plant-based diet or something. I feel like he tried that and he got even more energy, and it was pretty crazy. And so he's always been like that. I don't know if he wants to continue coaching. I feel like if the right opportunity came, he would definitely embrace it. But I'm not sure. I think he's enjoying, where he's at right now. He's always a guy that's in the moment, but if he wants to do it, he has the energy to do it.
Maybe with Bill Belichick going to college, somebody's going to be like, hey, Pete, don't you have pretty good
any thoughts?
Pretty good thoughts on how a professional team is run? Also have had great success in college ball. You have the energy, the juice. Have you heard about any of this, what's happening in college? Bill Belichick might be running like an NFL organization down at UNC if he and they choose for it to happen. He came on the show yesterday and talked about how you need a director of player personnel now, you need a salary cap person, you need a GM, you need a head coach, and whenever you view like veteran free agency period, that's the transfer portal. The draft is like recruiting from the beginning. He's like the similarities now between college and the NFL. And I know you want to be a GM one day, I think. There's a chance that there's going to be a lot of GM jobs opening up at these college places. Maybe Pete Carroll goes back and does all that. Maybe.
Be sweet.
That would be sweet.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think, like you said, I think you seeing it kind of just the shift. I think the way they pay players now, I think it's like more direct from the university versus, pool money that they raise. I saw, I think Andrew Luck is the GM for Stanford now. And so now you have a GM. Like, do you have former players that had, great careers go back and be GMs of their former teams? Like, it's going to be, give it like maybe 2-3 years, it will look like the NFL.
And then think about NFL GM jobs that are open. They'll at least have a chance now. It doesn't have to be an unknown scout or a director of player personnel somewhere or an assistant GM somewhere. It might be like, hey, did you see what this dude did at insert college here? His roster construction is this. His negotiation is this. His style of running a building. It's like, I think that's going to potentially be like an audition, just like college football has been. I think that's going to be a place for guys that want to run an NFL team. Now there's an opportunity in college. Got to have resources, though. Got to be able to do it. But if you
know what's going to be interesting? What's going to be interesting is you have like these guys. Let's say you have a really good quarterback, a really good college athlete, and he makes, let's say, $1 million, from NIL or whatever, and then his draft grade is low. It's he might be projected like 6th, 7th round. That's probably around like 500,000. Like, will you have more players just stay in college, make as much money as you can, and not even try to go to the pros? Like,
it's happening. Yeah. I mean, Dylan Gabriel probably could have went after last year, in there. Probably what you're talking about. Instead goes over to Oregon. Now he's in the national championship hunt. I think he's getting paid very well. Has obviously had a great season with the Oregon Ducks. There's a lot of I think Cam Ward is coming back for like his 8th year, or trying to come back for his 8th year. There's a lot of that happening at the quarterback position.
That's crazy. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how they figure it out.
And you said 1 million. I think you need to yodel.
Yeah, that's going up. I'm being conned.
That's because you're trying to GM one of these teams someday. Let's start these. Let's make sure we get realistic expectations on this entire thing. Hey, good luck with the Walter Payton Man of the Year, obviously. That is phenomenal stuff, giving back to your community and to society, not just playing great at football. Good luck the rest of the way with the Commanders, and you guys have been awesome to watch. So thank you for contributing to football in the way that you guys have this season.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Appreciate you guys watching.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bobby Wagner.
Yeah.